everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to day 5 of my 2024 holiday card series. Holy Moses, how are we 5 days in already? So if you are new here, new to my channel, hello, my name is Misty. This is my 10th year doing holiday cards. Yes, I start early. Why do I start early? Because people start crafting early. And Christmas cards, holiday cards are my absolute favorite. Like, absolute favorite. And for a while I was forcing myself to do fall cards and Halloween cards, and people don't really buy Halloween cards. And yeah, I was like, stop it, Misty, just do what you love. And Christmas cards are what I love, so that's what we're doing today. Yeah, so in this video I picked up a Catherine Pooler stamps and die set that she partnered with Sizzix. Someone have the 411 on that? I don't know. Anyway, I realized I don't have a Snowflake stamp in my collection. I have Snowflake dies, but I don't have a stamp set. And this one is so flippin' pretty. And I love that you can either stamp it or you can just use the dies to make gorgeous holiday cards, winter cards, birthday cards, whatever. So that's what we're doing today. I know I've said it in the last 2 videos, but I'm going to say it here too. This one will probably end up being one that I do again because it's just too pretty to resist. So yeah. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, make sure you leave a comment. At the end of every month, I'm going to pick a random video, then a random comment for you guys to win a prize pack from me. It is open international and there's no purchase, just leave a comment. That's it. So yeah, Roxy, what are you doing?
Okay friends, here is a look at the stamp set and the die set. I'm going to pull out some white paper from my leftovers, and I'm going to be stamping 4 sets of these snowflakes. Since these are new, I like to tap the stamp side on the back of my hand to remove some of the stickiness. That way it doesn't move when I stamp it. That's the card that's the inspiration. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you've been here since that card's creation. If you have been, you've been here for a while, so thank you very much. So I have 4 different colors from Pink Fresh Studio because I wasn't quite sure which color I wanted to use. The color on the lids doesn't necessarily match the color of the ink. And one thing that I really struggled with, that I had to cut out a ton of it, was the ink beaded up on these stamps, and I had to stamp 3 or 4 times. That was a little aggravating, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So I stamped 3 or 4 times and cut out all of that. So we did the light pink, then we did the dark pink. Now I'm doing the light green and the dark green. You can see a baby wipe there. That's what I used to clean off the stamp so I wouldn't have to move them around. Here's a tip from me to you. If your paper is all the same size, you can actually cut out 2 at a time. Just tape both pieces of paper together. Make sure you're lined up. And then use the dies to cut out both papers at the same time. That's what I did on a couple of them. It'll save you some time and some effort. And there you go, from me to you. So I'm going to get all of those done, and then I'm going to put them to the side, and then we're going to get started on the card base, or card layer, I should say. So I'm not going to make an exact copy of that card because I don't own those supplies anymore. So we're just kind of taking inspiration. So this stamp set came with 2 sentiments, 3 sentiments. I'm using the longer one. I think it's I'll Be Home for Christmas. I don't remember. I don't remember what it is. Oh my word. Anyway, my thought process is that I want to heat emboss that in white, and then I'm going to go over it with some green ink. Oh, there we go. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, and then let it snow. And every time I say I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, I have to mention that the Drifters version of that is my favorite. So that's some press and seal, and I use that to pick up my snowflakes. This must be getting old because it wasn't very sticky. So I am heat embossing the sentiment onto white paper. So I went over it with an embossing buddy, like some kind of powder, then stamped it with Versamark. I'm going over it with white embossing powder, and then I am going to heat emboss it. I guess I could have used clear, but I had the white accessible, so there you go. So this is how you do that. Now, embossing powder is just microplastic that you melt together. I never knew that, but it is. That's all it is. It's just microplastics. So all of my blending brushes are dirty, so I'm going to be cleaning them this weekend. So I'm using like the world's skinniest, craziest little blending brush to bring in some colors. So I'm going over the emboss sentiment. That's actually called emboss resist. Excuse me. And then I'm going around the edges and trying to do some ink blending. I don't do the best job, but it's going to be covered mostly with the snowflakes. So I wasn't too concerned about it. I just wanted to make sure that we had some of that green around the edges of the paper. And then I'm going to go back over that sentiment because I felt like it needed just a bit more. And again, you can see that it looks a little not great, but it's going to be covered up for the most part. So I'm going to bring in my snowflakes and I'm going to add some liquid glue on the back of each of them. And then we're going to take this to the card layer. They were a little off, so I had to move a couple of them around, but this is the easiest way to not have to do all of them at the same time and not worry about where I had placed them, etc. So as you can see, I moved a couple of them around and then I'm just going to turn it over and use my scissors to cut off the excess. And then if you've been with me, you know that I bought like a 32 pack of rhinestones from Amazon for like $9. And this set, you can kind of see it here. They're iridescent. So they have like green and pink and white. And I thought those were perfect. So I'm using a piece of pink cardstock. I don't know which color this is. It wasn't labeled. So it's a very light pink cardstock, and then I'm adding a white layer on the inside. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I wanted to use one of the snowflakes on the inside. So that's why I went ahead and added the white. And then I am going to add in the, add on the rhinestones, and then that's actually it for this card. I didn't use any shimmer because this is dye ink, so it will smear. If you're using a hybrid ink, it may smear a little bit, but if you're using like a pigment ink, as long as it's dry, it shouldn't smear. But yeah, these were so pretty. This card is just so pretty. I love it so much. This will eventually be in my Etsy shop. I have the link to my Etsy shop. You can buy me a coffee. I've got an Amazon wish list. All of that is in the description box down below. And here's a look at it, and I'm going to pull it up so you can see those rhinestones up close. Aren't they gorgeous? I love it so much. And here's a quick picture of that card. Had to give a few pets to Miss Roxy Kitty, so here she is making her appearance for the first time in the holiday card series. If you didn't know, this is my cat Roxy. I call her the crafting kitty. She likes to get up on the desk and get loves and eat and chew everything. So there you go. So for card number two is going to be a wild color palette. And you guys are like, Misty. So I love non-traditional Christmas colors. Like love, love, love. They're my bread and butter. They're my most favorite of all favorite colors. And I wanted to use this hot pink, and I thought the green too, but I ended up just using the pink in a really fun color palette. So year before last, I introduced using magenta and turquoise together as one of my color combinations. And that is basically what we're doing today. And we're going to add in some black. Now, this isn't necessarily my Project Use It Up video or Use Your Stuff video, but all of this paper came from that. None of this paper was new. This was already cut down. The pink I'm going to use was already cut down. The blue, it was already cut down. So I have, sorry, my chair is screechy. I have such a huge pile of paper that I'm going to just have to sit down and make some card bases using all of the paper, because I have so much paper. It's like I don't even feel comfortable bringing in new paper until I use up a bunch of what I have. So you can see here, I've already cut out the center of this cardstock a while ago, and it's not really going to matter because it's going to be covered up. So I just need the outside of it basically, and then the turquoise is going to go in the middle. Now for that, I'm also going to cut out the center and just leave a small frame. And again, it's because I am just going to have this be a border. And this is so I don't waste an entire piece of glitter paper as a layer, because it's not going to be seen. So I can keep this interior rectangle. I already have one. I can keep the interior of that rectangle and use it later. So I am adding tape runner to this. I probably should have just used liquid glue, but I was lazy. So I'm just using the backer sheet to the sticker paper that I put on the back of the word Mary. Now, I didn't say anything about it because I'm not going to use the sticker paper. I'm actually going to bump it up or pop it up, but that is where that backer paper came from. And we're just going to add this, and it's going to fit right in like a puzzle. And look at that. I like it. So now I'm going to bring in a piece of black cardstock. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm using, I don't think these dies are available anymore, but Stamp Anything has like an A2 card front die set, or had one. And that big die is the exact size of a card front, so it can be stitched as well. I'm going to bring in a white note card to get these off of Amazon because it's either this or make a black card base, and then I'd have to put a white card in anyway. So this saves me the trouble of doing that. And then I'm adhering this also down with a tape runner. Next, I'm kind of playing around with where I want to put my sentiment. I am using foam strips to add to the back of the letters. That way I can pop it up. And it's hard to do because I use sticker paper, but then I decided I wanted them popped up. So I thought I was going to use some of the greens, but then I decided no. And then I went ahead and used 5 of the snowflakes. And you can see me here taking a picture because I wasn't sure which ones I wanted to do, but I decided to go ahead and do all 5. Now I like to work in 3s. So we have 3 different colors: black, blue, and pink. We have 5 different, did I say odds or layers? I meant odds. We got 5 snowflakes. So as long as you have some odds, it's a good day. And I'm using some of those black rhinestones. Again, it was like a 32 pack from 32 different colors from Amazon. So I have those. And here's a look at it. I love this one a lot. But last but not least, I'm giving you traditional. We're going to be doing red and green. This is some extra paper from that MFT set that I said I wanted to use in my first video. So I'm going to be using this scrap piece of red glitter paper to cut out 3 different circles because I'm going to make ornaments. So here I picked out a green stripe, and then I have the red candy cane stripe. And then this piece of paper is my last one, and I'm sad about it, but it has different holiday greetings on it. So all 3 of those are going to be my layers for this card, and I'm just cutting them down. I'm going to adhere them all together, and then I'm going to use a die to cut it out. So I cut the green one just a little bit, the green stripe one just a little bit bigger than 4 by 5 1/4. That way I could use the big die and cut it out. So here's a look at that. We're going to get it run through. And now that that's done, I'm going to bring in a pokey tool, and we're going to poke holes in the top, or we're going to make a top of these circles. And this is what's this called? A self-healing mat. So I'm just using it, and I'm making the holes just a little bit bigger. And I was going to crop out the desk, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to leave this because I did all 3 of these back to back to back, and I just want you to see the progression of the mess on my desk. My crafting space gets a little smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So this is some metallic embroidery floss, and I am going to be using that to make the string for our ornaments. I'm going to thread it through, and then I'm going to put one side, tape one side down, and the other side is going to go on the back of the card layer. And I just use washi tape for this. It's the easiest for me. So I'm just kind of doubling it, putting it through the hole, and just lining it up, and then using a piece of washi tape to tape it down. This is real simple, a real easy way to make ornaments. You could also do this to the card paper if you wanted to do that, or the layer if you wanted to do that. But I like this a little bit easier. Plus, I'm going to pop these up, and this just makes it more simple for me to do that. And again, this is just a metallic embroidery floss I picked up off Amazon. Listen, I did order a few things from AliExpress, and I've mentioned that before. If I have time to wait, I'll order from AliExpress. If I don't have time to wait, I'll pick it up off Amazon and pay like 19 times the amount. That's okay. And I don't buy, like, I'm not on AliExpress. I mentioned this before. I'm not buying stamps and stuff. Although I did pick up a stamp off of Amazon, and I don't think it's a counterfeit stamp. So we'll see how we do. If it is, you guys will have to let me know, and I'll figure out another one. But I really do my best to try to stay away from counterfeit, all of it, dyes, etc. If you guys have been with me, you know that I got offered, or I got some free product from a store, and then I realized that they had stolen a dye design, and I was like, no, thank you. So yeah, so you're gonna want a really strong adhesive to get these adhere to the glitter paper. So I'm using liquid glue, and I'm holding it down for just a couple of seconds. But as you can see, I pulled the string behind, taped it down with washi tape. And once we do that and we get these on, then I'm going to go ahead and put it on a card base. And I'm just cutting off the excess string so it's not in the way. This is going on a piece of wide cardstock that was cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. We're going to put that down flat. And then I am going to bring in some bows. I have these gold mini bows. I have gold bows and red bows. And instead of those rhinestones, I have these little gold hearts, and I thought they were so much fun. So I'm putting the gold hearts on that. But when I moved one of these around, I took up a little bit of the paper. So I'm going to bring in some little gold rhinestones, and we're going to put those around. Not rhinestones, pearls. Well, whatever they are. The little shiny gold things, I'm going to cover up the few places where I picked up the paper, picked up the ornament and the paper ripped. But once I do that, that's it. That's all 3. So 3 stamps, one stamp 3 ways. All in all, I think this was like 2.5 hours worth of footage. Don't forget that I don't do anything ahead of time. So here's a look at that. And again, I didn't add any shimmer because it's a dye-based ink and it would smear. So here's a look at all 3. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I really do appreciate you. Let me know which one is your favorite down in the comments down below. I will see you Monday for another video. Bye for now.